shy or embarrassed. Because if we don't know, if you know everything, why do we sit here? If I know everything, I don't come. Of course, I know nothing essentially. These are the very tiny things we know. So we are trying to know more, that is why we have it as our own. So next, you need to get examples and analysis of lots of examples. Topology has very glorious examples. Next class of obtaining from a matrix space to another one is construction mapping. Many students are doing construction mappings as PhD, master's thesis. I'm very happy. Of course, construction mappings I also studied for graphs many years. And construction mappings are also studied by changing its definition to weaker form or changing studying in some other context. The original construction mapping concept is the best one. If you can do some very tiny thing, even in the original context, then it will be more influential and valid construction. Result from valid. What does construction? Construction mapping, before we define it, it also came from mathematics' original work. Someone, when he was trying to establish some very difficult functions, continuous or uniformly continuous, he figured out a way to do it. And his way is that he somehow related this left-hand side, this one, is this one, this distance with that distance. Somehow related, and if that one is some constant multiple of the other distance, then we can work on the constant. If it is constant, then we can always substitute the epsilon by epsilon over that constant, and then constant you get still the proof. That is how he was working. Lipschitz. It's called Lipschitz. So if that constant is very small, the constant is usually required to be non-negative, and if it is less than or equal to 1, then we can call it non-expanding mapping. So this distance does not exceed that distance. But no, this distance does not exceed this distance. Then we call this mapping F non-expanding. If this distance is strictly smaller than that distance, then we call it contracting. So it's not difficult. If we talk about it today, it's not difficult. But for him, how difficult was it? You have to imagine. When he was the first thing trying to prove all those continuity results, and always seems to have some constant bounding this horrible expression of delta. And then this is changing all the time. And then he was also trying to magnify that and give the constant. And then you put that constant in the denominator of the thing that delta, then you get the epsilon argument working. This is how analysis teachers, lecturers today are always giving lots of examples. Good ones give lots of proofs. But the calculus lecturers, no, they know nothing about it. Calculus thing you shouldn't really study, right? Calculus is for other people, not for mathematicians. So let xy be a trick space. It was there, it's a substituting is some function. I'm not really showing topology, we have a Lipschitz conditional paradigm. Probably metric space is the most general thing for which this is part. This has an analog. In topology, because we don't have distance concept, right? So you cannot really see open set with some constant multiple of something. So in my current misunderstanding of ignorance, metric space is the most general field where Lipschitz can be presented. tell me the time. When the time is up, but I don't want to hold you on weekend, Friday until midnight or something. It is possible because sometimes I exceed my time 1 hour. In the conference, it will offend everyone. In the conference, it's much better to stop before your time. You will be happy about it, right? KB를 나누. For any x y, there is no condition, no quantifier there. This is y. Here we call f. F is called a non-expanding function. This word is being when you go out and teach, most of you come and lecture or teach. Students will always ask, why are we know this word from dictionary. Expanding is going on, non is not going on. Why are we using another meaning? You need to be able to answer this question. Because in mathematics, in principle, we are not talking human language. We are giving this word a precise definition. We don't even mean this word anything other than those conditions. Exactly that condition under that condition we're using this. So you can't really go out to apply papers, universe, and I think where is it? Can you really touch one universe for me? And when you say physicists say atom, can you show me an atom here? You see, if you cannot really, we in mathematics, we mean this exactly by that condition. We are putting it right in front of your eyes. There is nothing hidden, nothing mysterious, no other meaning there. So this has to be really put into your mind, because my impression of meeting, for example, yesterday was, apart from very few of them, no definition there, no concept. Lots of results, high results, application to epidemics, partial differential equation. I don't think partial differential equation would work for that phenomenon, because that phenomenon is discrete, it is not even continuous. If you cannot differentiate, how can you use partial differential? Can you differentiate first of all? So you see, you need to stand your two feet firmly on the ground. Everything we talk in mathematics is clearly given to ourselves. No other meaning there, no hidden thing. It's completely open, completely simple, completely beautiful. There's no hidden thing, no hidden agenda, no politics. No expand. And then if k is less than 1, less than 1 also non-negative, then we call it the F. Contraction mark. I'm sure this is the same definition I'm giving as those who study contraction marking here, right? You should correct me. Contraction marking. Now, in graph theory, the contraction marking I group is actually non-expanding mapping because I include the one square. By including one, we can actually talk about every automorphism. We're coming to this in the third batch of lectures. You can talk about every automorphism being special case of the contraction mapping. For example, identity mapping should be, it is non-expanding, but it contracts the object onto itself without contracting. But if this is more than one, then it is contracting. So, before we see examples, what can we derive from this simple definition? If a mapping is contraction mapping, or actually even non-expanding mapping, expanding mapping, then can we relate back to this? Can this implication hold? If this coefficient is at most one, then we just use that delta to be itself, right? Is this understood? This is already the proof of contraction mapping is the non-expanded mapping is continuous. Zero. If F is non-expanding, this can all be examined because these are easy results where you can really get marks. And these are, nobody will complain because these are definitely important theorems. When I should tell you this, when I'm retired, I don't mind talking about this. In South Africa, we have a regulation that every exam paper must be externally examined 6 months in advance. There must be someone else in another country or another university who has to check it and then tell it's okay. Now, this thing, you see, if the external examiner complains after 3 months, then the rule that we have to get approval 6 months in advance from the external examiner is broken. So I had lots of complaints. For example, my external examiner even complained, you used this question last year. My reply was very simple. Can you take out this question from mathematics? For example, this modular arithmetic question, I always include for any m, these two natural numbers are mod m are into this equivalence classes and prove that this x minus y divisible by n is an equivalence relation, congruence is equivalence relation. Very simple. I included 10 times. So the next year when I submitted, I usually write a comment separately about this question. This question is in every branch of mathematics. Therefore, I am examining it this year, same as 10 years ago. And the students are also happy. If they understand this, they understand many things in algebra, topology, analysis. So you need to be able to convince your external and internal that this question I'm giving you as an exam question. And I will shout to him that this is proper question, although it is ground level easy. The expanded, non-expanded mapping, then it is continuous. Many people are dead because of those horrible things happening in academic life. And proof is given already. One thing is something like 3 to 4, 5 marks, most. So the non-expanding mappings are continuous. It's the converse of the key. If not, then please prepare a counter exam. Okay. If yes, then you have to prepare the proof. That's how you have it. Because you shouldn't leave these things in me. You should take it out and put it in your pocket. What is the time now? 5 minutes. So I should stop on the this question here correctly. We will continue from there on Monday. If my foot is okay. I must have scared everybody now, because it's like I was just going to die. It was just the thing, otherwise I'm healthy. Any questions? How many exercise questions I left? 3, 4? 3, 4. 3 or 4. We will do more than that. Someone will be able to take a note, will be able to send me a question, a photograph or something, text. I will give it to the group. Or you have to give it to the group. If you state it correctly.
Questions?
Huh?
They don't ask questions. They almost tire me in class asking questions. They
Yes.
don't let me teach. Questions?
Even if you get me stuck, I would be very happy because, if I'm stuck, can't answer some question, there will be two possibilities. One is that it is known and I don't know. The other possibility is it is unknown, then we might start on something. Is it not celebrated?
This course is just to fill their gaps. Your gaps in analysis, geometry, whatever you have. Just ask those simple questions that you don't have answers till yet. You can ask. Okay? Ask the professor. You prepare, you try to answer your questions. This is the last time in your life you're going to have this offer that you can fill your gaps.
No, there are lots of this opportunity. You shouldn't say such
No. In Pakistan, they are not going to get any other opportunity. This is the last time they are
They
being
will be
offered.
walking into the world very easily, don't worry.
They will.
With you here.
Come on.
It's such a interesting.
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately, to say to last day. Yes.
There is another definition of locally uniform continuity. So, what is the difference between uniform continuity and locally uniform
I don't
continuity?
know. We need to check a topology book. I can't check it and answer it next time. By that time, you know it already. Locally uniform really means that the 2 points are chosen not all over the space. In my layman understanding. Locally uniform means it is the x, y, will come out from all the space. From the space. It could be somewhere. I don't know. Another question?
okay then. There are no questions. Thank you, Professor. Thank you, everyone.
I didn't get my